Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Loan Officer Breakfast Club, my friends. I hope everybody's doing well this morning. We're going to have a great day. It is Tuesday, May 27th. We had a 3-day weekend, and I hope you all had a great time. Hope you had a great Memorial holiday. But it feels good to be back in the saddle again, my friends. We do have a special guest today. We have Mr. Alan Christian. We're going to bring him up pretty soon. Of course, we're going to get our little antics across. You know, we've got Judah in the house, so I'm really excited about that. How are you, sir? Good to see you there. Good to have you. Wayne Garrison's here, of course. You know, Alan Touchton. Wow, man, Alan, you must have brought the big guns in today. You drew in the big cruise, man. All right, let's see. Daniela, how are you, dear? Good to see you. Good to see you and have you here. Sharon is with us, too. What is going on, Sharon? How are you? Well, we'll go ahead and kind of get started here and just kind of kick things off. We do have Alan Christian in the house with us this morning. Say hi, Alan. Just wave.
Good morning, everybody. Good to see y'all.
Yeah, he's a super, super cool guy, and can't wait to chat with him, and I know you're all going to get a lot out of it. In the chat, let us know how you're doing. What's the weather like where you're at? I mean, things are warming up here in Northern California. You're supposed to have a hot streak in Vacaville. Jen pointed out I do have the Vacaville hat on. Kristen, you didn't notice that, which is odd. You're usually very keen to my attire and my fashion sense, but you know.
I mean, I was thrown off by the lack of matching with the blue shirt and the red hat. And,
but now, does it? Okay, let's get clear on this, guys. As people are coming in, bear with me on this. Just bear with me. Okay, but does it not match?
Looks fabulous.
I mean,
it's a lot going on, Frank. There's a lot.
I'm digging it.
But it's, I got the blue great. Lights, and you know, you've got kind of a purple haze, baby.
Okay.
Purple haze going on in the back. You got the purplish hat. I don't know. I disagree. But listen, Kristen, look.
You know what? I take it back. T-shirts, you know, graphic tees and hats might not be my thing. That's probably the problem.
Right. And then, you know, one of the things we learned in the Navy was to be able to have a certain fashion sense, and somewhat, you know, most of us come out as kind of trendsetters, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of one of those things that I can't avoid, you know? All right, well, let's go around the house and see. Oh, you know what? Hey, Alan stepped away. That's okay. Chris Johnstone. Oh, Alan, you're back.
I went to get my hat just so that I could fit in with everybody.
There you go. Hold on.
There you go. All right.
Handsome devil.
Well,
whatever.
We should have hat day here.
That's the real deal.
Yeah. These handsome people. I'm trying to increase the ratings, you know, by bringing in beautiful people. So, hey, Alan, what we're going to do is this. We, you know, just to get the juices flowing, it's only 3 minutes in, you know, for about 5 or 6 minutes. We like to go around and share wins. You know what I mean? Like, what's the win? Who's got to win? And so, what I'm going to allow you to do, Alan, is I'm going to play the Jeopardy music, and you get to pick someone. Just look around and pick somebody, and we'll see if they can share a win from last week, right?
Love
or maybe
it.
Over the weekend. Okay, so
Jennifer Woodland, right off the bat. I looked over and you were smiling, and then you looked away. I'm like, that means I have to call on you.
I know her smile is infectious. That's for sure. Jen, Jen, you're on staff though with yes. Yeah. Well, do you have
do you still have a win? You can still have a win.
What's your win?
100%. My wins are just with all of the clients right now and seeing all of our clients really honing in on our CRM and really taking a grasp and getting it, and having people come on the program. And all of our programs, we're getting wins from our clients. So that it's a team win. So just really grateful to be a part of this and seeing all of our clients succeed.
That's awesome.
Excellent. Good stuff. Thank you, Jen. Appreciate that. Okay, so Jen, now you're up. So, all right, look around. Who are we gonna pick? I see new faces. Huh?
I know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call on Steven Worstner.
Steven Worstner. Steven, come on, man. Give us a win, baby. Are you around? Is he there?
Yeah, I just have to unmute. So the only win I have is I'm in New York State still waiting for my license to be released.
Oh, okay.
And the win I have is I went from incomplete to review.
Nice.
So
Congratulations.
One step closer.
That is a win in New York for sure.
That's
right. That's right.
All right, Steven, your turn. Go. Pick somebody.
Let's see. Not paying attention.
Pay attention.
Dennis Wells, what's your win?
Dennis Wells.
Nice.
All right,
Nice.
Dennis Wells. Come on, baby. What you got?
Well, let's see. The win is that I booked an appointment with a listing agent last week. I just asked Tuesday update calls.
Nice.
There was a new contract. Hey, is there anything I can be doing to help your sellers? And she's like, well, not really, unless you have something that can help people buy before they sell. I'm like, oh, actually, I've got 4 or 5 different ways to help people do that. So we're getting together Thursday to discuss ways we can help her market to downsizing buyers and help them be able to buy before they sell.
Wonderful. Congratulations, man. Hey, so for those that are not familiar, fill us in a little bit. So this was Tuesday. So what's the goal of the Tuesday call there?
So the goal of the Tuesday call is to touch everybody who's in contract. So listing agent, buyer's agent, both borrowers, title company, insurance agent, seller if you can. And we're on track for a smooth and on-time closing. And I'll sometimes update them on, hey, did you get the email from my processor? Did my processor call you that you needed to get us this thing if it's taken them a day or something to get it? And, oh, by the way, what I found is that great people know great people. And I really enjoyed working with you. Would you have any friends, family, coworkers that need to have a conversation about buying, selling, or refinancing real estate?
Wonderful. What do you think, team? I think it's pretty good, right?
Mic drop.
Mic drop.
Amazing.
Perfect, dude. Perfect. And so, yeah, you picked up a listing agent by doing that. It's one of the secret things, man, is these Tuesday calls, right? It's just, being able to talk to that listing agent, right, Dennis? I mean, are you getting a lot of the times, my experience has been, we call the listing agent and we're giving them updates and being consistent. A lot of times they're like, well, this is really unusual. I never really get these kind of calls, right?
Exactly. I probably talk to more people on Tuesday and Wednesday than I do any other day of the week.
Gotcha. If you're getting value from this already, go ahead and tap that like button. It helps more loan officers find content that actually makes a difference. And hey, if staying ahead of the market and learning what's really working in our industry matters to you, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss another episode. We read every comment, so drop your thoughts down below. We'd love to hear from you and know what's working or what you'd like us to cover next. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you here next time. Excellent stuff, man. Dennis, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. All right. Well, I think it's time for us to get started and bring on Mr. Alan Christian as our Loan Officer Breakfast Club guest for the day. This is going to be a good one, man. First of all, if you know Alan in the chat, say good morning to Alan. Say hi to him. I would love for us to see if you know Alan or know who he is. But so real briefly, I will kind of give you the lowdown on why I wanted Alan to be here, everybody. I think it'll be highly beneficial. Is Alan and I have known each other through social media for many years. We've never really engaged, personally, like on the phone until Mother's Day. It was right. Mother's Day. We figured that out. And I've just always admired Alan because he's so doggone visible. Now, we talk about hunting, we talk about farming here, right? And the two different aspects. And when it comes to the farming aspect, one of those things that we do talk about is social. We do talk about, Facebook ads and things like that, right? But Alan has always impressed me very deeply on his ability to stay so visible. And through that, I learned he has the exact same motorcycle as me. So he became a super friend at that point in my mind, right? We got the same bike. On Mother's Day, I was riding my bike and I was up at the lake and I thought, you know what? I'm going to try and just FaceTime Alan. We've never really done this before. And I'm going to see if he answers, right? Sure enough, he did. And we had a wonderful conversation. He had his mom in the car, by the way. I didn't know that for about 5 minutes into the call. I was like, sorry, Mom. But, I asked him to do a podcast, which we did, which technically, Alan, sorry, kind of screwed up. We got to do it again. But I also wanted to get him on Breakfast Club because the thing is that the thing about Alan is that really impresses me is, Alan, you have a way of being extremely visible on social. I mean, like really visible, but you also are completely unabashed about, your faith. You're unabashed about your political preference. You're unabashed about you. You know what I mean? You're unabashed about Alan Christian, 100%. But Alan, you managed to pull that off in such a way that it's just not divisive in any way. I just don't see it. Like there's no battles, there's no arguments, there's no anything. It's just a bunch of love, as far as I can see. You know what I mean, on your social posts and whatnot. So, can you walk us through just a little bit brief history? How long you've been in the biz and when this whole social thing started? Do you get coaching on it? Do you do it yourself? I mean, how often do you do it? Your thoughts, recommendations? Give us all that in about 11 seconds.
Quick story: got in the industry in '99. Was a retail shop. A couple years later, became a broker. My world changed truly when I started coaching with a Freedom Club years and years ago. When I've been through a lot of different programs, I did not know anything about social media. And probably 3 years ago, I was at an event in Vegas and I heard somebody give a 15-minute talk on social media, and the light bulb went off, and it just clicked for me. And I came home and they told me it'd take about 6 to 9 months for it to click. And I remember and I actually have a picture of the guy on my wall, but a guy called me and said, Alan, he's a realtor, said, I don't know you. I don't know a lot about your mortgage business, but I know enough about you as a person and what you stand for. Can I potentially meet you, bring you to my office, introduce you to my team? And I was blown away. And that was when things started changing. And it opened the doorway of some philosophies of what I do. I don't hire anybody to do this at all. It truly comes from the heart on everything I do. When I write stuff, if you see anything I write or my videos, I'm very instantaneous and spontaneous. I write stuff and it just comes to me, and I write it in 60 seconds. I never go back and rewatch my stuff. And I try to be real. That's kind of the intro.
Yeah. And you do a good mix of, it'll be just pictures and or video. And is it just whatever strikes whatever the mood is at the time, or?
It's by design. Yeah. I now kind of start watching, if people, how many views am I getting? Are people opening it up? And I'm seeing that video, I was like one of the pioneers on video, early days with Bomb, huge on that. But I watch the videos. A lot of people watch that, and your audience is different. So some people will watch videos. Some people will just look at pictures. Some people like to read stories, and I do all of that, and it attracts different audiences. And then all of a sudden they start looking at the other stuff. So it's a little bit of everything. And then same thing, what part of it is business and what part of it is personal. And there's a strategy behind that I have found for me has been, it's been a great mix. It's been a great mix.
Can you get into that mix?
Absolutely.
Personal and business, like I don't get the impression when I see your stuff, I don't get the impression that, oh, okay, it's Tuesday, so it's a business related thing. Oh, it's Thursday, so it's personal. I don't get you're just doing whatever you feel like you want to do. It's kind of how it looks.
That's exactly what it is. I don't have a social media calendar. I see people do that. And if just to get started, you got to do something. So you got to get some kind of ideas out there. But my stuff is totally spontaneous. It is literally in the moment. If I shoot something or take a picture, I'm itching to put it out. It's like buying somebody a Christmas present. I got to give it to you in 60 seconds. So it goes out there. But things that I put out, I believe everything that you're putting out, you're teaching people if they should look at your next post, if they should watch your next video. And I try to pepper things in that truly 4 out of 5 things that I put out there are personal about me. And then I'll pop in business stuff periodically, but I don't want it to be, people have figured out, they figured out if you're doing a commercial all the time. And if every single video you're doing is now with a professional videographer and you've got lighting and all this special whatever, they realize I'm not watching your stuff anymore. I click it off in 3 seconds. So I try to do a lot of things. But when I started sharing, when I started being vulnerable and sharing about who I was, that's when people started calling me, asking me if I would be willing to meet with them. Realtors, financial planners, clients, just absolutely blew away, because before it was all, everything I thought about was business, business, business. Nobody cares about that. They're going to buy a house. If they're on social media, number one, do they like you, know you, trust you? Same old stuff. Well, how are they going to know that if all you're talking about is business? So I try to pepper more things about myself to say, if I'm going to buy a house, this guy is a great guy and I like what he stands for. And even if they don't agree with what I stand for, I like who he is as a person. Now let's look and see, how is he professionally? And those things, it's typically one before the other, in my opinion.
Yeah. So a couple things. One is, I noticed that you are really good at, you can blend them very well too. For example, recently you had a couple of recent posts where you had encounters with people that were not normal encounter. Like there's
totally.
there was one where you met a lady and she was walking a dog in a stroller, and you're like, I got to talk to this person. You know,
I've already got a referral from her in the last week. Met her walking the dog. Yes, in another state that I don't live in.
So yeah, tell us about that post, by the way. I mean, for an example, an example post where you kind of, so what was cool about these posts where you're meeting people, it's really enriching, because you're explaining this cool life experience that you had because you took the time to meet somebody. So that benefits anybody, right? That doesn't matter if you're in sales or whatever. That just benefits anybody. But then also you, toward the end, it's like, oh yeah, and by the way, it wound up in me getting some business too, because of this reason or that. So you kind of blend those things together. But yeah, tell us a little bit about that particular encounter.
This is one of the, if you go to my personal Facebook page, you'll see the story. A year ago, I took my mom to the botanical gardens in Atlanta. And when I was coming through the parking lot, got on the elevator, and a mama and her daughter got in, and I asked them, hey, what are y'all in Atlanta for? They weren't from here. They lived in Florida, and I live in Georgia. My daughter sings in the opera. No, she was 19 years old. I'm like, no, she doesn't. Sing me a song. She broke out in a song right there on the elevator, and it was phenomenal. So we laughed and we left. Well, during lunch, we happened to sit at the table next to each other, talked to each other, had a great time. Well, at the end, as we were leaving at the end of the day, saw them in the parking lot. Hey, what do you do professionally? I just happened to throw out, she's in Florida. Well, I'm actually a realtor. No kidding. I'm in the mortgage industry. So I reached out to her on social media, do some of the stuff I do. She followed some of my stuff. And then a couple of weeks later, she calls me with a referral. And I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6 transactions from her. And then from those in another state, I've then picked up the listing agent on the flip side of a deal. So I look at it saying that one day at the gardens, I've made over $50,000.
Man.
And I was not sitting at my desk burning through Thor's hammer. I was living my life being nice and being cool. And I can tell you story after story. I get my business by living my life, but I also, I'm engaging people around me. And I look at it and say, if you put your phone down and look just who's 3 feet away, be nice, say hello, engage them, talk about them. They're probably going to ask about you, then have a follow-up plan for it. It will blow your mind, the type of business you can get. And it's not forced. It's just being real. It's just being who you are.
This what this reminds me of, Kristen?
What's that?
Is
The one time when you were in the Navy?
Yeah, there was this time when I was in the Navy. I actually could tell a story, but I won't. But no, this reminds me of, Alan is genuinely curious, right? So two things. Number one is he engages with people. You're an engager, Alan. Yeah. I know my Brian Stevens, who I did the National Real Estate Post with, it was one of his biggest traits was he was an engager. Like, we could be anywhere and he would start just talking to people and learning about them and becoming friends with them. And the next thing you know, we've got some deal going on with them somehow. But but he would engage with people, right? So, I mean, and this goes into like even when we do make our calls and we're talking to a real estate agent or something like that, Steve has always emphasized, be genuinely curious. Like, what is going on with you? We call saying, "Hey, you're successful. I'm a student of success. I just want to learn how you're doing it." Genuinely come from that position of I just really want to know, what do you got going on? How did you get here? Alan's doing that. Of course, he engages with his real estate agents, but Alan is doing that just anywhere, just in life. He's out, he's doing things, he's taking his mom places and meeting people and engaging with them. Engagement's a big part of your success, isn't it?
Completely. Yeah. I have a goal of 5 people a day, engaging with 5 people a day. And sometimes if I work from home, I got to leave the house, but I want to touch 5 people around me. I want to make them feel good, make them feel special. I may be the only guy that day that says something to them, but I want to engage with 5 people a day. Face to face is really my plan. Sometimes it's video, but those conversations, those connections, and it's true. Tell me about you. And sometimes those 90-second conversations may be 5 minutes. Sometimes they're 30 minutes. You never know. And I'm open to doing that. There's no ulterior motive behind it. It's not because I want to get business, but business comes from it without question.
So let's get to some questions. Elena has one, and this is a good one, right? So, yeah. And I said this at the beginning, and guys, if you don't know Alan, go find him on social media, Facebook, and start just following him and see how he does it. But Alan has a way of letting everybody know his political. He doesn't see. Here's the thing. I shouldn't say it that way. When people get to know you, they know your political preference, right? But you're never like pushing your political agenda, ever. But they know it. They know it. But you don't ever like talk about it. And also, they know your faith. Now, on your faith, you will make some posts like I do, some verses or whatever the case may be, or some experience that you had, something like that. But it never seems to be something that becomes contentious at all in your post. Can you talk? Elena's actually asking about that. What about a political post? You don't make political posts per se.
No,
right?
But if you go back and scroll, you'll see some stuff, a sign in my yard, you'll see a hat. But right. I also had signs in my yard with Trump and Biden. I had both of them. So you're like, really? Where does Alan really stand? I've put a little bit of all
darn this guy.
There. Yes.
I want to not like him, but dang it, I just can't.
It's true. And I do put some religious stuff in there, but I also put down some, because I'm a believer, I sometimes quote, I'm hashtag critical Christian. So I've put some stuff on there, but a big one for me, I had a client call that was a member of the National Socialist Party and an atheist, which is 180 degrees of everything that I really stand for. Probably one of the best referral sources ever, because I was not engaging. We have some disagreements, but I'm cool about it. I'm not going to ever engage in negative banter or comments. And while I may throw things out, everything I do is with love. It's all about being positive, promoting, and edifying everybody. And even if I disagree with you, there's something that we can find a connection on. And I don't engage in negative comments. So I don't ever engage in. There are a lot of times comments will come over, and I always try to go back in and respond to comments. But I will say this: if it's negative and it's really bad, and it does happen, I block those people, because it's my page, it's my social, it's my channel. I control 100% of my platform and my brand and what I stand for. And have I lost some business? I sure have. Have I completely gained and solidified and nailed down some other folks? That's why people started calling me, because they realized I'm not just a blank entity in the mortgage industry. There's a person behind the name, and they wanted to find out about that. And because of that, they aligned with me, and sometimes didn't align, but they loved the way that I presented myself and could still love them and what they did too.
Hey, somebody saying something? Okay, Tanya is in. Is this on your personal page, or is it on a business page, or do you do business page, or what's your deal?
The only thing I do is my personal page. I have a business page, but I haven't used it forever. If you're going somewhere, I am who I am Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I don't need to have a business page that's only business. because I really don't want that. I want you to see every piece of it. Because if I go to a realtor's business page and all I see is business, I'll realize nobody's looking at that crap because nobody really cares. It's not as much. So I do everything on my personal page.
Yeah. If you're doing paid Facebook ads, you got to have a business page,
Correct.
guys.
That's
just so
correct.
you know,
Yeah.
you do need that. And I'm in the same kind of boat. Like for the business pages that I have, they're specifically there just so I have the ability to run a paid targeted audience ad. That's why they're there. So, but how often do you post though? Is it every day?
I just started doing stories 6 months ago. I try to do something. I try to do a story, so there's always something up because it's a different audience will hit that. It depends on the engagement. I try to do something every day. Sometimes I need to have a break, and I'll take 3 or 4 days off completely. But I'm trying to put something up. But some days I'm not inspired, and if I'm not inspired, I'm not going to go create something just for the sake of creating it. So I won't put anything on there. But then there are other days. Yeah, there are other days I could put 10 things out and I'm not going to, but I'm also, because I'm spontaneous, I'm not going to go record 10 things because I just want everything to be raw. I just want it raw.
Alan, do you explore multiple social sites, or are you pretty much laser beamed on one or two?
I had a couple of years ago, I had a full-time social media manager, person that helped me do all this stuff. I don't right now. I'm in a different season of life, went through some stuff recently. So right now, everything I do is Facebook. It does cross-post to Instagram. I've not gone out and launched my, I have a YouTube channel, but I've not really put much on it. But here's the real reason I can't keep up with Facebook. I get so much engagement off of it. I get so many comments off of it. I remember one time I posted something. I went back and pulled it up. I'm like, there's 53 realtors that commented on this one post that I'm not working with yet. And they've been following me for 6 months, and it's fishing in a barrel. And it's just, why do I need to go hit 7 platforms if I'm not even maximizing one?
You know, it's interesting. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No,
I was going to say, I have a quick question about you saying you're engaging with individuals, which I love because people do want to work with people that they know, like, and trust. What do those conversations look like as you're meeting someone, and how do you get to meeting someone like in the elevator to asking them for their contact information? Like, what does that look like? Because I know people have to be interested.
Oh my gosh, I could pull my phone up. Last 2 days, Memorial Day events, I met people, met a lady with her daughter. She had a gun on, went up and I took a picture of her and her daughter, went up and said hello. And turns out she was a sheriff. And I had the photo and I met them. Hey, it's great to meet you guys. Hey, let me grab a photo with you. It was I want to send it to my mom. I want to say whatever it is. But I'm just being fun and I'm being nice. And then I asked her, hey, are you by chance on social media? I'm going to shoot you over my Facebook page. Yeah. Or, for ladies, it may be a little different. But many times, hey, I want to send you the picture that we just took together. What's your cell phone? And I've never had anybody say no, ever. Normally, I hit social media because I want to find out. I pull my page up and I show them my page, ask them where they are. I'll send them the link, but then if I find their social media page, well, then I can click on it, engage on it, comment on it. Then I can go send them a video on Instant Messenger and, hey, it was great to meet you today, blah, blah, blah. And then I send them my digital business card. And by that time, they respond back and give me theirs. It's just boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, that's really good and then they're getting to see your social, you're getting to see them,
and
so you
that's
build that relationship.
That's right.
Powerful.
Well,
Love
and here's the thing of the social. The reason I want to get them to my Facebook page is I want them to know who I am, but I don't have 2 hours with them in a 90-second conversation. So if they go to my page, they are going to go back in and look at the last 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, most likely. And if I go to their page and I comment and like on the last 7 or 8 posts they do, they're going to say, wait a minute, who's this guy? He was really nice. And he's like engaging on my stuff. And wow, that was like, he said, congratulations to my kid who just graduated college. Well, that was nice. So what are they going to do? They're going to go to my page and they're going to say, okay, he's a real person. He's not some psycho. He's a good guy. He's exactly what I thought he was. Okay, great. Then they get the video from me and then they're comfortable. And that's exactly how the lady, the realtor and her daughter sings opera, that's how we connected. That was exactly what happened.
Hmm.
Or just it's so non-threatening. I have cards, but I don't even like giving cards out anymore because it seems too much business-like. So if I just say, "Hey, you're on here," and just about everybody is, and if they're not at all, then I can. Yeah, some folks yesterday, I got their cell phone and I sent them photos and I sent them a personal video. Hey, it was great to meet you at the Memorial Day event. I look forward to seeing you in the community sometime soon. I didn't even ask about business. Well, then they're going to respond back to me. Then I'm going to send them a digital business card. Hey, I happen to be this. They're whatever industry they're in. I've asked about them. It's all about them. And at the very end, because I've been asking about them and being curious, they're always going to say, well, hey, Alan, what do you do? And I kind of nonchalant put it out there. I don't really go for it because I don't want them to think there's an ulterior motive that this was business related. Because we all have that person. Like, are you being nice to me to be nice? Or are you being nice to me because you only want my business? And if I pick up that it's only business, I'm kind of shutting things down a little. Just the way I roll on that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that was really good. It's powerful. I mean, to sum it up, I mean, you are just authentic. You're a people person and you just play off your strengths. And I think that's incredibly powerful. And the relationship, people want that. So I love that. That was great advice.
Yeah, he's Alan's definitely a master at it. He really is, and that's why he's here. Because I just was so impressed with him and how he does this, and I just had to get to know him better, and I'm glad we got to know each other better, Alan. And we're staying in touch quite a bit more now. And I just thought, wow, you would be such a benefit to have on the Breakfast Club and share what you're doing with everybody. So we really appreciate it, man. Thank you for being here. Very, very, very.
My honor. My honor. Thank you.
And then if people want to find you, just go to Facebook, Alan Christian. You'll find him. Yeah, he's there. You can follow him. That would be the easiest way to do. I know some people probably still have some questions. Maybe they can just reach out to you on social if that's
follow me hit me on Facebook, follow me, and jump on Instant Messenger. Shoot me a message. I'll get back with you.
Okay, great. Alan Christian, everybody. Thank you. We'll have you back again, brother. I really appreciate you here. Very inspirational. Jen, what do we got cooking this week at Animals before we get out of here?
So today at 2:00, dialed in with Meg and Jen. We're talking about staying true through the chaos.
Okay.
With the calls. And then Thursday, Carl is on the Complete Loan Officer, I think.
That's what rumor has it. I think
there he is.
I heard a nasty rumor that he's going to be talking about story selling.
There you go.
So exactly what Alan's talking about, a good part of what Alan's talking about today.
Yeah.
Is, how do you story sell and how do you do it in a cool way? And there's an absolute formula to it, and I'll map it out for you.
Excellent. So that's Thursday. Both of those are at 2 p.m. Eastern time if you're a Mortgage Marketing Animal member going to classes. And Chris Johnstone, do you have anything on Wednesday? Do you have anything tomorrow? Sometimes you do.
We are doing an AI Inner Circle class tomorrow to go over the new updates on Google and what we're doing to reverse engineer competitors to rank in ChatGPT. So
perfect. How do they engage with you? How do we get to your class?
We'll talk about it tomorrow.
We'll talk about it tomorrow. Okay. And also tomorrow, guys, Jim Kiles, our friend Jim Kiles is going to be here tomorrow. So that'll be fun. I think that's about it for today, unless somebody wants to. Well, we talked about Tuesday calls already. Dennis Wells, wasn't it Dennis? Was it? Mm-hmm. Talked about what we do today, which is our Just Ask calls, our active transactions, borrower, co-borrower, listing agent, selling agent, insurance, escrow, or closing. We're going to reach out to them, update them, and ask them if there's anybody we can help. So I think we pretty much nailed it all for today. What do you guys think? Think we're good?
I think that before we close, we should give Alan a shirt.
Oh, I think he is. Congratulations, Alan Christian. You are the proud owner of a Loan Officer Breakfast Club t-shirt, my friends. These are very coveted things. They come with great power. Of course, great responsibility is required to wear it. Do not give it away to anybody, especially anybody named Carl White. That's the only thing that we ask.
That was very, Chris is such a nice person. she would get Alan. She'd give you the shirt off her back. I'm just saying, she's just a nice person.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. Hey, Alan, Christian, thanks for being here. Everybody else, thank you so much. We'll see you here tomorrow with Jim Kyle. So you guys have a great day. Go get them. Just Ask Tuesday. We'll catch you here tomorrow at Loan Officer Breakfast Club. Brought to you by the Mortgage Marketing Animals, my friends. We'll see you. Adios. Bye-bye.
Have a great day, everybody.
See y'all.